Este martes 28 de febrero finaliza en California el estado de emergencia por COVID-19, casi 3 años después de su inicio. En octubre de 2022, a través de un comunicado, el gobernador de California, Gavin Newsom, compartió que el estado de emergencia fue una herramienta efectiva y necesaria que se utilizó para proteger al estado y que no se habría llegado a este punto sin él.
State of emergency remains so we can continue to respond and utilize state and federal funding sources and have flexibility. But I think on the whole, it's a moment to look back at, the most difficult thing we've ever endured in our lifetime. And to acknowledge and recognize the lives lost to COVID, to acknowledge the hardship endured by so many in an effort to save those lives. And I think for San Diegans to really appreciate how much they stepped up and supported one another during this difficult time.
Si bien la declaración de emergencia llega a su fin este martes en California, en el resto del país se terminará hasta el próximo 11 de mayo.
It does not mean that COVID is not still a threat, and it does not mean we should forget about the tens, thousands of people who have died from COVID, including my own father, and the effect that COVID has had on families and their loved ones. We are in a very different state than we were in 2020, but that doesn't mean that COVID has gone away. And in the future, we need to make sure that we continue to do those steps that help to protect our public from this and also be ready for whatever the next pandemic is whenever it occurs.
El fin del estado de emergencia por el COVID-19 de California significa que el enfoque gubernamental ante la pandemia ha cambiado.
Because of the vaccine, because of the boosters, because of the treatment, is now in an endemic status, not a pandemic. People have the means to protect themselves from severe illness. And I think that it's time to end the state of emergency and go on with our lives.
El fin del estado de emergencia permite la eliminación progresiva de las últimas normativas y órdenes ejecutivas emitidas desde marzo de 2020.
In total on COVID, San Diego did incredibly well. We have a death rate lower than any Southern California county, lower than the state of California, half of that, somewhere like the state of Florida. Vaccination rates that are significantly higher and an unemployment rate that's below the national and California average. Moving forward, COVID has very much become like the flu. It will still be here. You're still at risk of catching it, but we have in place the measures to protect yourself from the severity of how bad it will be between the vaccine and the boosters.
Our hospitalizations usually go up this year, and the same has occurred as we would expect in previous years during flu season. They can handle the load. We obviously don't want to stress them out any further, and that's why it's vitally important for folks to get current on your flu shots and your COVID boosters. But right now, even though it has certainly been unseasonably cold weather, right now they're hanging in there. It may be a little while before we start seeing further impacts, but so far they're managing to manage.
Para la comunidad, para ti, Edgar Gallego, KSDY Noticias.